Welcome back to Curious Archive. This video is the second half of my two-part series on the biology of Horizon Zero Dawn. In the most extreme biomes of this world of machines, ill-tempered titans, skilled survivalists, and genuine terrors still await discovery. Like the animals braving the harshest regions of our current age, these machines have had to get creative to endure the hazards of the elements. The environments are perilous and the machines that live here even more so, but sometimes discovery requires certain risks. And with mysterious robots that aren't part of the ecosystem awakening in the darkest corners of the land, who knows what final secrets are buried beneath the ground. So, join me on the last section of our documentary-style journey, as we conclude our expedition across the uncharted regions. In the dense jungles of the far south, a fearsome storm batters the trees. Typically, I'd wait until such weather passes, but right now, time is of the essence, for one of the rarest and most spectacular machines of all has been spotted here. A huge shadow passes overhead. Above my position is the single mightiest machine of all the skies, a Stormbird. They're huge, with wing beats so powerful they echo like thunderclaps. The Stormbird is not afraid of the hurricane raging around them, for this machine is the storm. And unfortunately for me, these solitary beings are highly territorial. Soaring close to the ground, the Stormbird crackles with electrical discharge. At the heart of this machine is what appears to be an electric field generator, and this Stormbird is about to give me a zap. My camera takes the brunt of the blast. This is why you always bring extra recording equipment. Documenting a Stormbird in the middle of a storm turns out to be an inadvisable idea. Eventually, however, the storm calms down, and after losing sight of me, the Stormbird has also mellowed out. In the warm light of dawn, it is easier to appreciate the majesty of this ruler of the skies. Across the land, there are no machines quite like them, and our sighting is a promising start to the expedition. Without the gloom of the storm, the true beauty of this jungle emerges. With just the right amount of sunlight and nutrients, this tropical band of forest is a paradise, yet even the lushest gardens have their thorns. A chill runs down the back of my neck. A shimmer seems to ripple in the morning light. I don't think I'm alone. Something invisible is moving through the underbrush. For a brief moment, the camouflage flickers, and the stealthy machine becomes perceptible. This is a Stalker, a nimble hunter whose sinewy frame seems designed in every way for ambush attacks. Their demeanor mirrors that of a large feline predator, with each measured step hiding the incredible speed they're truly capable of. And the Stalker can take their ambushes to another level. Through the use of optical camouflage, they can project the terrain behind them onto their bodies. This form of invisibility is almost perfect, with only a slight bend in the light suggesting the Stalker's outline. And as the Stalker moves, they leave behind small proximity mines that will detonate if I get too close, alerting the Stalker to my presence. Trying to keep one eye where I'm stepping and one eye on the underbrush is harrowing, yet I have discovered a single weakness. In order to take in light, the Stalker's optical sensors must remain visible. If I keep watch for these floating dots, I should be able to anticipate attacks. Yet knowing an attack is coming is one thing. Surviving an attack is another. One Stalker has evidently decided they've waited enough, and goes on the offensive. Uncloaking, they take a hurried swipe at my head. A close call. Every part of the Stalker is built for combat, from the metal claws and teeth of their front to the stinger-like blade at the end of their tail. I doubt this is a fight I can win. Yet just as quickly as the Stalker appears, they vanish, disappearing once more to wait for their next opportunity. I'm not keen on another surprise attack, and decide to continue my expedition in a region with a thinner underbrush. I travel to the north, a region where very little vegetation grows. Here, a vast stone quarry stretches along the length of a canyon. This colossal excavation project appears long abandoned, yet somehow the site still feels occupied. A terrible rumbling echoes through the quarry. Something is moving under the surface of the rock. For a brief moment, a gigantic machine breaches from the sand like a surfacing whale. Stumbling backwards, I witnessed the metal Goliath rise up and clamp their jaws where I had just been standing, before diving once again. That was a Rockbreaker. One of the largest known machines, these agents of destruction can shred through any material. Like a sentient excavation drill, they use this ability to swim under the Earth's crust as a fish moves through water. When they detect a sound, they move, shark-like, to the source of the noise, and attack the unlucky target from below. If a target is difficult to apprehend, Rockbreakers will briefly surface, giving us a chance to look more closely at their anatomy. While they might function like a fish, Rockbreakers possess powerful limbs that resemble an excavator's shovel. Tunneling animals like badgers or moles have similar digging mitts that they use to create their burrows. The most prominent tunneling tool of the Rockbreaker, though, is their massive mouth, composed of an enormous roller cone drill bit. With this feature, a Rockbreaker can swallow vast quantities of raw material each day. Yet what goes down must come up, and the Rockbreaker needs to regularly regurgitate processed stones into the air, which rain down upon the surface. With a Rockbreaker on the loose, this quarry is as perilous as it gets. Time to tiptoe away to our next location. In the western desert, I spot a herd of antelope-like creatures racing over the dunes. These are lancehorns, and while I only catch a glimpse of them, they look majestic. Yet they are clearly in a hurry, and I soon find out why. Out of nowhere, a heavy sandstorm sweeps over the western reaches. Stumbling through the storm, I find various familiar machines are also struggling to press on against the howling winds. All any of us can do is keep moving and hope the storm dies down. But there is something in this cloud more dangerous than the elements. Stalking within the sandstorm is a terror from a lost age. Moving on 4 scorpion-like legs, this machine isn't like the others I've seen. Not a part of the larger machine ecosystem, they possess no behavior beyond unreasoning hostility. Yet how did such a machine come to be? This stretch of desert, called the Rust Watch, is scattered with mysterious ruins. It seems a battle was waged here long ago, with many dormant machines of war now rusting away in the sand. Perhaps this Corruptor is the last one still functioning, a thoughtless agent of war from a conflict that ended a millennia ago. In any case, I have a more current problem. The Corruptor has spotted me, yet to my surprise, before the Corruptor can strike, other machines descend upon it from all directions, unleashing every attack in their arsenal. Like immune system cells descending upon an infection, the other machines seem to instinctually see the Corruptor as a threat to the ecosystem. It's a surprising turn, but not one I wish to dwell on, as the ensuing chaos has given me the perfect opportunity to make a hasty exit. Yet while I leave the Rust Watch, I can't help but wonder if there are other long-lost machines hidden away in the margins of this world. With the western desert and southern jungle now charted, the greatest frontier of all still remains. Far to the north, the frozen wilds, an immense mountainous region, beckon with the promise of untouched wilderness. Temperatures drop low in the forests and mountains of these wilds, with the wind carrying cold drafts of snow between the trees. It's a good thing I've come with layers, yet some denizens of this mountainous forest don't have to bundle up. Rushing ahead of me is a herd of remarkable machines. Chargers. These swift-footed beings are the champions of the freezing alpine slopes, and are comfortable on inclines most creatures wouldn't dare to climb. In behavior and general appearance, chargers are perhaps most similar to mountain goats. There are organic mountain goats present in this region, in a rare instance of machines alongside the animal whose role they fill. As herbivorous machines, chargers spend much of their time seeking out patches of vegetation. Unlike some herbivores, though, chargers have an aggressive side. When I step too close, the machines rush towards me, kicking wildly to scare me off. I certainly now understand why these animals are called chargers. It's a lesson I'll be sure to remember. Better leave these slopes to the chargers. Moving to the valley below, I discover a landscape of surreal, prismatic hot springs. These natural springs exist in the modern day, and tells me this is a region we would know as Yellowstone National Park. The bright, vivid colors in the spring are the result of microbial mats around the edges of the mineral-rich water, and tromping at the water's edge is a herd of bellowing giants. These huge, stocky machines are known as Tramplers. With their massive head, neck, and chest, Tramplers look like no force on Earth could knock them down. With so much bulk, they seem to be less bothered by the falling temperatures than I am. Like the bison of North America, Tramplers are highly resistant to the wind and snow, and for any non-elemental challenges, a pair of huge, horn-like structures keep the Tramplers prepared for anything. Tramplers also use these horns to dig up rock and soil. They work tirelessly, stopping only to change location to another spot. But for what purpose? Soil analysis suggests that Tramplers are, in fact, purifying the toxin-laden soil of this land. They filter the material they dig up through a processing unit on their underside, which glows with heat from its arduous task. With each region the Tramplers pass through, the immediate ecosystem becomes a little healthier. But Tramplers aren't always peaceful. Highly territorial, these bulls will charge interlopers with unpredictable speed. If pushed, Tramplers will even use their processing units to set the environment ablaze, scorching the land they typically protect. Wanting to avoid such an outcome, I stay out of range of the herd's optical sensors and watch them pass on. Cresting the next hill, I witness a tall neck trudging through the snow. It's surprising to see one this far north, but it seems not even the cold can slow these beings down, or the trees for that matter, which this tall neck seems to take little notice of. I find it is comforting to see a familiar machine in such an unfamiliar land. Yet just ahead looms a machine that is distinctly unfamiliar. These are control towers, and unlike all other types of machines, they look botanical rather than zoological. To my astonishment, the strange machine then releases a cloud of spiraling drones into the air that burst with bizarre purple energy. As it turns out, control towers act as the unofficial hearts of the synthetic ecosystem, with their drones helping to repair nearby machines. Their bizarre appearance is the result of this peculiar, sessile lifestyle. Why bother with locomotion when your legion of loyal drones can go anywhere you can't? While the undulating movements of these towers subtly resemble the motion of coral, control towers have no clear natural analogs. Yet in repairing damaged machines, the importance of their role in the continued health of the ecosystem cannot be overstated. And with such a vital occupation, control towers are fiercely defended by the machines they repair. On that note, I think I've gotten close enough already. To the north, the snowfall has become heavier. Like the sandstorm in the western desert, a blizzard descends over this region in a matter of minutes. Even with my layers of protection, I'll need to find shelter if I am to survive this onslaught. In the distance, I spot a cave illuminated with the artificial lights of the hunter-gatherer communities who occupy this region. Perhaps refuge awaits inside. No such luck. From the cave emerges a fiery machine. This is a Scorcher, and they have taken over this cave from its previous occupants. Their tall pointed ears give them a vulpine appearance, although Scorchers seem far less skittish. I suspect the snow is now the least of my worries. Waiting for an attack, I watch the Scorcher crouch down, then rocket forwards, leaving a blazing trail. A near hit. Despite living in a cold environment, the Scorcher is an agent of the Inferno, creating devastating, if somewhat inaccurate, walls of fire. I might be cold, but this is no way to warm up. Time to find a different shelter. Stumbling through the storm, I happen at last upon a snow-covered ruin. The structure has seen better days, but I'll have to take my chances. The inside is thankfully much warmer, but what is this a ruin of? A collection of forgotten animal statues in the corner gives me a clue. I'm standing in the ruins of the Yellowstone National Park Visitor Center, and these statues are, sadly, the last record of their respective species. Once this building falls, these animals will be lost to time. Through a crack in the wall, I notice the snow outside has calmed down. The time has come to complete the final leg of my journey. At the foot of the mountains rises a fortress-like ruin. This was once a hydroelectric dam, through which vast quantities of water still flow. And stalking the base of this dam is one of the most dangerous machines of the frozen wilds, a Frostclaw. Like polar bears, Frostclaws have muscular builds and are practically immune to the cold. Indeed, Frostclaws are the champions of the ice. Using a chemical similar to liquid nitrogen, Frostclaws can create sharp spikes of frozen coolant, transforming the surrounding area into a forest of jagged ice. Much of the dam is now covered with these glacial stalagmites. And this Frostclaw is not alone. A Fireclaw has also made their home on this dam. This infernal machine is even larger than their icy cousin, and they are known to be even more aggressive. The Frostclaw's opposite, Fireclaws wield flames much like Scorchers. Frost and Fireclaws might not seem like they'd get along, but surprisingly, these two seem to tolerate each other. With both a Frostclaw and a Fireclaw at this site, close documentation is a serious risk. Fortunately, the dam's ruins provide reliable cover. All I have to do is find a space too narrow for the machines to fit through and stay hidden until the coast is clear. At the very edge of the world, the final stop on our journey is a bleak graveyard. Like the wreckage of the Rustwatch, this seems to have been the site of a great battle. Yet who, or what, were the ancient humans fighting against when civilization fell? Tromping through the snow is a metal monster unlike any seen before. This ancient horror is a Deathbringer, the last machine standing in this grim cemetery. Like the smaller Corruptor I encountered in the sands, the Deathbringer has no resemblance to any fauna, and is simply a unit of destruction. Many of its weapon systems are no longer functioning, but it seethes with blind hate nonetheless. Perhaps it was rogue units like this one that were the cause of humanity's collapse. Or perhaps the Deathbringers were aided by something much bigger. Throughout my travels, I've witnessed many immense metal tentacles snaking over the mountains. These machines, known simply as metal devils, have been in the back of my mind this entire voyage. No still functioning units of this machine are known to exist, but their proximity to ruined battlefields raised suspicion. I suspect these machines were responsible for the doom of the previous ecosystem, and the animal machines that populate this land were built to return the world to a habitable state. In time, these ruins will hopefully be forgotten, and Earth will become the planet it once was. Warming up in the temperate safety of the Embrace, I consider all I've seen in this strange future. While a quiet sadness permeates throughout the ruins of this world, the interconnected machines that populate the land have given the planet new life, so to speak. I've heard rumors of a vastly different ecosystem of machines in a region known as the Forbidden West, and if passage to that location is ever possible, perhaps someday I'll chart it as well. But for now, the time has come to return home. And as always, Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this entry, please lend your support by liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification icon to stay up to date on all things curious. See you in the next video.